So we'll start with the different kinds that we can come with. So the packs that you've got contain pre-printed forms on a silk background. The prints are in gold and they act as a barrier for the silk paint, because silk paint, when it hits the silk, spreads. Oh, there's an echo. Is there anything I can do to get rid of the echo?
What we could do is maybe mute people until, if you want to say anything, put your hands up and I can try and unmute. That might help. So if you mute all and you unmute yourself, give that a go. So Janie, if you unmute yourself.
Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah. Fab. Jo, are you still there too? Okay. Well, I'm going to...
But I think that's what... Oh, Stevie's coming.
Okay. So, also in the pack, you have a paintbrush, a mixing palette, and 5 different silk paints that we can use. I'm going to keep mine in the pack for this one and just use my silk paints because it seems such a waste, and we can maybe send that one on to be used elsewhere.
Hi, Stevie.
Oh, Stevie, hello.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
No, it's just nice. We've just started. I'm just going through what was in the pack. So we had some pre-printed silk paintings with a pattern on or a picture. So this one's got a hummingbird. And in the pack also you had some silk paints and a paintbrush, which you could use. So if we deal with those ones first. So I was saying silk paint will run through your material really quickly until it hits a barrier, and the barrier on here is the silk, it's the gold outline. So if I just do a quick demo and put in a background color so you can see how it would go. So if I dip the color on, it spreads until it hits that barrier. So you needn't paint right up to the line. You just let the silk paint do the work. So that way you get a nice smooth finish. Again, just using the color and the flow of the paint.
And are you attaching the silk base to anything, or just got paper underneath?
It's in the kit. It comes. It's a bit different to anything I've used prior, but it comes with a paper backing.
Ah.
So it's already stretched in a way, so you can paint straight on it. It makes life a lot easier. But we'll move on to doing your own after doing a little bit more on this one.
My cat decided I liked my silk, so my silk's a bit.
Karen's got a question. I think I'll ask.
Go for it.
Yourself. You'll need to unmute first. There we go.
I was just wondering if you've wet the silk beforehand, or you're just doing that straight on with the ink?
I'm doing it straight on with the ink. Keep the colour solid. No need to wet this one. As we move on to the next stage, which would be creating your own pattern on silk, then it might be caused to have a light wash of colour, and then you would use water with your paint. Or you could wet your silk to let it spread, but we'll not in this case. Okay. So I'm just going to finish the blue while it's on the go. And then do it a little bit more. I won't complete this one because I'm sure you can see how it would work. Oh, well, maybe do a little bit on the bird. So again, it's just dipping the paint on, letting it run to the edge. These are the fiddly bits. Ooh.
Kelly's just joined us. Hi, Kelly.
Oh,
Hiya.
hiya, Kelly.
How you doing?
We're just doing a little demo on the packs that went out. So
Yeah, I didn't get one, but I've come to join just to watch and to see what you're actually doing.
lovely. Yeah, yeah. So that has one tone on the background so far. Ooh, there we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a darker blue in some areas just to get a little bit more of a three-dimensional look. You don't have to do this bit, but I think it works out quite nicely. So do a little bit there.
Do you want to put your hand up, or is it just the way you're resting?
Sorry?
I don't think it has. It's all right.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna lean in. Like that.
So when you're delivering the packs for the first day session?
I think we've got everything now, so they might go out this week. But there's no rush. The first session's just going to be a bit of a social anyway. So it'll be it's the first and the second week in February it'll be delivered.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, that's nice actually. I like that.
That's lovely. So is this all on silk, Janie?
It is. It is. And this is in the pre-pack that comes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's lovely.
Do a little bit on the bird, just to demonstrate a
Colours are so vibrant, aren't they?
It's like a jewel-like colour. It's really lovely.
I love that greeny bluey colour you've got in the background.
Oh, it's my favourite.
Do you
can
think
see
you can
why.
make ones which came in the set and make your own colours, so you could make that greeny blue?
You could. You could mix a green that was kind of to the blue edge. You wouldn't get that blue though. Not that absolute two it was, but you get close. You would get close. So for the bird, I'm going to add just a little touch of pink and let it. I'm going to use a wet brush. So this is where my wet brush comes in, Sharon. Just on the edges, just to let that colour flow. So it doesn't have to be a single block colour. If you were working with two colours, if you put down your lighter colour first and then the yellow in this case, and then I put a little bit of red on there just to give it a bit of zip. So that's how the pre-printed silk paints work. So I'm going to move on from that one now to looking at making your own outline. So I'm going to pop that to one side. And what I found to use as a pattern is from a silk painting book, but you can Google kind of silk motifs or glass painting patterns, and they, you know, and then you could kind of print off any of those to use, or adapt anything to that. So what I've done is everybody should have got an embroidery hoop, and the embroidery hoop is a good way of stretching out your silk so it's workable. So that's what I've done this one. So it's quite like a drum top. It's got a little bit of bounce to it. And this is the pattern that I'm going to use, that I want to put onto my silk painting. I'm going to use the lovely pen that was in your kit, I just love, which is this one, which I'm struggling to get out of the thing. It's winning. Yeah, there we go. So this pen should be, it's an air erasable pen. So you put down the colour and in time it disappears. So it's not there forever, which makes it very handy. So I'm putting the embroidery hoop with the stretch silk on top of my pattern, and I'm going to use this pen just to draw it out. It'll be quite quick, so we just get the effect.
Reading into it, it should just wash out or fade away over time, but you shouldn't iron it because that'll fix it onto the silk.
I am a stranger to an iron, Joe.
Well, we all
Yeah.
rather paint any day.
Definitely. Tumble dry and, well, no, air dry and hang it out. It's fine. So I'm just going to do the flower part. And I can remove the underneath part. There we have our pattern ready to go. Here's one I did earlier. And this is just to show you the two different kinds of way to create the barrier, the line that the silk paint will stop at. This one has been done with a thing called gutter, which comes in a tube. And let's see if I've got one. That one. So it comes in a tube like this. So it's gutter, G-U-T-T-E, water-based. And that, when your tube is there, you can follow your line and keep the pressure light to draw with. It can be quite tricky to use. It needs practice to get the hang. But the other way, and the way that we're going to use today, is what's come in your kit is a metallic pen. And this one has been done with that. So your pen.
Is the pen acrylic based?
It is, no, it is, it's a permanent quick dry. So I think there's oil in it. I think it's an oil based.
It is, yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it does work, and it's a quick way of working. It's good. So that gives you your barrier.
It does stink though, so have the window.
Yes.
Louise has her hand up there, Joe.
Janie,
Yes, please. Ooh,
are the pens that you're using, are they actually fixable by iron or not? Do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I think they're fixed as soon as you use them. I think these the gold and silver, you know, that's them done. But they're not harmed by ironing, and the ironing will fix the silk paint.
Yeah. What's the pen brand name? Do you know?
This one is Sakura. S-A-K-U-R-E. Sakura.
S-A-K-U-R.
The
And
one
it's-
in the kit was Pental.
Yes, they're very good too, yeah.
Are they actually called outliners or just Sakura pens or?
Gold, Sakura Pen Touch. Pen Touch Gold, they're called.
Thanks.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried the Posca pens that Carol's used with her acrylics to lovely effect. So I don't know if they would work on the silk. It might be worth an experiment at some point.
I've just
Probably,
realised
I think they're probably,
Sorry.
probably,
Go for it, go on.
I think anything works on silk. It's whether or not it actually fixes into the silk or
Yeah.
remains in it if you're going to wash it or anything. You can use watercolors on silk, acrylics,
nice.
anything. But if you just want an art piece, but if you want to wash it like a silk scarf, you wouldn't be able to fix them in.
The ones sent out with the kit were called Pentel Paint Marker. And that's again the kind of, I think, a oil or alcohol based.
Pentel
Paint Marker.
Paint Marker.
The Posca pens are acrylic based, so I imagine they wouldn't work.
They wouldn't. Yeah.
Janie, can I ask a quick question, love?
Whoa, ask away, yes.
What is the best paints to use on silk?
Actual silk paints, specific silk paints are the best kind. So this one is called Setter Silk.
Right.
By Pebeo. And that's kind of probably the most common one that I've come across. But you know, other ones will be out there.
What about canvas?
For canvas, the silk you can buy. Well, everything you can buy online, can't you? But I got mine from Phoenix, so you could get a yard of silk from Phoenix to play with. The beauty of the silk paints is, like Louise was saying, that you can fix them, so you can iron them, and that fixes them and makes them washable.
All right, okay.
If you would do it like as well, like you said, if you were doing just an art piece, then you could be a bit more flexible with the tools that you use, because they don't have to have that kind of washability and way.
Yeah. And is it a certain type of silk that you've got to use, or?
There are different weights of silk, but I find kind of the very light silk works really well.
Yeah.
I don't know if Louise, what did you find when you were working with the silk? Did you like the heavier weights or?
No, I liked the silk habitai. It was called habitai, and it was lightweight.
Yeah.
The paint runs a lot, sort of more flowingly with the lighter silks.
Thank you.
The website we were using, especially for the outlined ones, pre-packed cards, was silkcraft.co.uk.
All right, thanks, Joe.
You can actually see some of the purple outline is fading already.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very cool.
Very clever, isn't it?
It's amazing.
I'm going to have to get one of them.
Because put away, you don't have to wait till it's dry, like the gutter.
Oh, but this is with the pens, so the pens dries instantly. The gutter you do have to wait. Oh, it's easier if you do. Otherwise you smudge. But I
Yeah.
nearly always.
I know that.
Oh, I nearly always smudge or go over the line, so I think it adds to the thing.
Yeah, it can do. You can make it add to the thing.
It's my story now. I'm sticking to it, Louis.
So what time's the quiz this week, Joe?
I think it's 2:00 on Friday.
Ooh,
Yeah.
lovely, lovely.
I thought it was 4 p.m.
Oh, actually, you're right. I think it did change times.
Ooh.
We're putting out the new program at the end of the day, so
Oh, cool.
be on there.
Ooh,
Oh.
Nice to look forward to. Love a quiz.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry, because the paper craft is now on the Friday.
So while it's still drying, I'm going to add a bit more colour into the edges. Oh, damn it. Blend it in with a wet brush. You can maybe see,
Oh yeah, okay.
because I've done
It looks like the actual paint dries quite quickly as well.
Oh, it does. It does. Yeah, yeah.
Move your camera slightly to the left, or the artwork
I-
to the right. Yeah. Lovely.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay. So. Okay, adding some colour there. Now, because I've gone a bit too thin on my line at the top here, the yellow has bled out a little, but we're just going to go with that. Yeah, it happens. So what I want to show on this one is one I prepared earlier. This has got a yellow background that I just painted the whole of the surface with yellow, quite a washy yellow, so a little bit of water in there as well to make it flow. And once that's done, you can work on top with paint, with colour, and it doesn't run as much. It might run a little, but not as much. So it gives you an opportunity to add different forms. So I'm painting on top here, and you can see that the paint doesn't run. So you can build a pattern there. So this would be working without any kind of gutter or any border on there. The bits to the side were, it's tricky to see on this one, but it was an experiment with putting salt on top, rock salt. And that's showing up better. You could use it on watercolor too, but I would do it with that salt paint. This is the one that I prepared.
Yeah. I find that the salt works much better on blues than.
Yes, it does show up a lot better. You're right,
Yeah.
Louise. Yeah.
Welcome back.
So with this one, actually, if I do a little bit at the side here, what I did for that one was worked some different blues together quite loosely. So those colours would blend. So you can be quite loose with with adding that colour to there. And then on top of that, scattered some rock salt.
And then watch the magic happen.
Yes. Put it on one side. It's taken slightly longer because this was the salt I used to put on the ice. So it's not great. But it seemed to work. So this one has been drying for an hour. So I'm going to tip off the salt.
Does it still have to be wet then for it to work? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ooh, that's it. Dust it off. It's still a little tiny, so it could have probably dried a little bit longer, but you would get to see the result on here.
That's
love
lush,
that.
Janie.
Effective, isn't it?
It is. So I think that's it's when you're working with that you get to the real joys of silk painting. You get to that abstract quality
Oh,
and the randomness of adding different things. It's lovely. So when we get
Reminds
back
me of
to
years ago when you used to get the ice on the insides of the windows.
oh, beautiful, yes. Yeah, so that's kind of where you're at. So when you've finished a piece, you could either, that's kind of a few things you could do with it. It mounts very nicely under glass, but I find the best way to do that is to use an iron-on interface on the reverse side. So you would, the iron will be used at some point. Oh. It just gives it some body. So it actually, what it works as is the same, is similar to the pack. It adds that extra body to it. So you've got a flat quality to work. Also, you could, if you wanted, use, iron on some Bonder web. So that means that what you've done, you could attach to other materials or things. So I would maybe, on this flower, put some Bonder web on the back, carefully cut it out so there was just the flower. Then I could iron that onto, say, a bag, maybe lots of different flowers. With the bag, I've got an example of.
Sophia. Sorry, I've just told my partner.
You're fine there, Stevie.
Janie, how do you stick it to the card?
Oh, okay. I'll read that. I just finished with this bit. So that, I don't know if you can see that one.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
That's been added to the thing just with Bonder web. So. I think for this one, you stick it to the card, you have to iron it. I'm going to just double check because it's not the one I've used before.
card might just have the frame, so it might be just a matter of slotting it in.
Yeah, I think maybe that's true.
Have a frame.
Oh. Ah. So the cards don't have it. Cheating and looking in the instructions. Usually do that after I finish doing the thing. Where is it? Yeah. Oh, once you've finished, leave until dry. Iron the silk outline by placing a dry cloth between the silk and the iron. Yeah. And trim the edge of the outline back to the borderline. So you would trim it right to there.
Mhm.
And then take the glue stick and put the glue on the back of the outline. Then stick your silk outline to the front of your card. And the card is now finished. So that would be cut. And then stuck down to the the front. So you'd have to iron it first. Yeah, I haven't practiced that bit. Yeah, so I won't cut it until I've ironed it. Once I've found the iron. Okay, so that's kind of just covering the basics of it. You know, it's great fun once you get going. I mean, Margaret, are you still there, Margaret?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, lovely. You know you've worked on some of the big ones we did in the studio.
Hi. You see me butterfly?
Oh, let's have a look.
Oh
Ah, lush.
Oh, lovely.
wow. Oh, that's beautiful.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh.
I love doing silking. It's right relaxing.
Yeah.
It's fab. It's just fab.
Janie, do you know where it's you've got this like the sticker on the back of the
Yeah.
drawing? Do
Yeah.
you peel that off before you iron it? Or iron it with that still attached?
I would think iron it with its wow.
I think, doesn't it make that sort of bonding? So when you do cut it, it won't fray at the end.
All right.
That red just
Oh wow, that's
brilliant.
lovely.
Margaret. Lush.
Lovely.
This is me favorite. I love doing silks. Best thing in the world. I love it.
I'm glad you've got the butterfly as well, though, Margaret.
Pardon?
I'm glad you've got the butterfly as well.
I love it. I really do. This is going to be our Claire's birthday card.
Can I show you? Can I show my thing I did the other day?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh,
Just look at these.
sublime.
Wow, that's stunning.
Wow,
that
that's fabulous.
lovely.
Is
That
that
is
silk
lovely.
print, is it? That's silk print.
That is so gorgeous, Louise.
Thank you.
So much interest.
Oh, excuse me.
Do you use any resist, or was that just straight on?
Sorry?
Did you use any resist or anything, or?
No, it's just wet on wet. And
Good.
I call these sort of edges. I call them watermarks because you get quite a crisp edge.
Yeah.
But
Beautiful.
you have to kind of know how far the dye is going to run.
Is
That
that all
comes
done by
with
silk,
practice and
Louise?
experience, doesn't it, Louise?
Pardon?
You know, to judge where that edge is going to come.
Yeah.
That's just the experience that you've had,
Yeah.
and you know your knowledge, and working with a medium. Lovely.
Well, it never does what you really want it to do, but you just have to take pot luck, I think.
I think you do have to be kind of accommodating of the silk paint itself, because it will do its own thing at any given time. But you send it in the right direction.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I love the colours of that. The colours are absolutely stunning.
Thank
I
you.
love it, Louise. It's beautiful.
Thank you.